You couldn't hear me, but I was doing the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to What the Trump. It's been a long time since I have recorded a podcast or episode to my What the Trump podcast. I'm not even going to apologize at this point. I'm just going to say this is me and this is what I do. And sometimes I don't do things that I don't want to do if I don't feel like doing it. So, um, there's so much going on, like there always is, because as you know, the president Cheeto always has something going on. Because if it's not one thing, it's a fucking another. And if I'm not covering it, somebody else is covering it, and there's so many other people covering it that I feel like most of the time you get to know what's really going on. But then I also realize you may not know all of it. So, um, you know, everybody's talked about got up in arms about his thing with Greenland, and now the whole thing with tariffs. And what really gets me is the motherfucker, excuse my language, literally had the Supreme Court rule against his tariffs and him being able to tax us as American citizens. By the way, that's a tax on American citizens, and he's going to do it anyway. Every time I looked at my parents and they told me not to do something, I did it anyway. I got my ass handed to me. So that's what we should do as American citizens. We should hand his ass to him. We need to keep protesting. We need to keep voicing our opinions, and we need to keep moving on and tell him what we don't like and how we don't like it. That's why I also, before I started this podcast tonight, I sent emails to my senators, my congressmen, my local representatives, the governor. Yes, I made sure my voice was heard. And one thing I noticed was most of them had different ways of getting messages to them. They weren't emailed. They would go to their sites and you actually send a message. And most of them had me pick a subject. I had to stick to a certain subject. So I picked immigration for one, healthcare for another. But I was talking about healthcare, immigration, and voting. And I got to Senator Cornyn's page, and I noticed that he didn't even have the subject for immigration on his. He didn't even want to hear about immigration from me. So I had to pick healthcare on his and still told him about immigration. He also didn't have an option where if I wanted a response from him or not. All the rest of them did. Do not vote for John Cornyn. For one, even Trump doesn't like John Cornyn. Okay? Enough said. All right. So I'm going to shift a little focus let's go ahead to do what the Trumps. So my first what the Trump is, what the Trump was he thinking when it came to the Qatar plane?
Whatever it is, or I could say thank you very much.
When is a plane more than a plane? When the plane is a very lavish gift from the nation of Qatar. The thing is, the president already has a plane. Actually, two. Air Force One brought the president to Saudi Arabia. It's one of two heavily modified Boeing 747s that have flown every president since George Herbert Walker Bush.
We're very disappointed that it's taken Boeing so long to build a new Air Force One.
But listen to Trump and it sounds like the president would like a new ride. He even had a sneak peek of the potential gift when he toured the Qatar aircraft in Florida last February.
And you look at some of the Arab countries and the planes they have parked alongside of the United States of America plane. It's like from a different planet.
Enter the Qatari royal family and a plan to give the 747 described as a palace in the sky to the Trump administration. But the Constitution has something to say about that. The emolument clause says in part, no person shall accept any present from any king, prince, or foreign state. But Trump says the plane isn't for him.
If we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones, I think that was a very nice gesture.
According to reports, the current U.S. Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who lobbied for Qatar in the past, signed off on the deal, which would see the luxury aircraft become the property of Trump's presidential library or foundation before the end of his term.
Presidential library.
Quite the parting gift, says this law professor.
Presidents raise money for their foundations. Presidents sponsor, events to support their foundations and their libraries. It's possible that they'll be able to do this to skirt the legal problem, but it is in spirit and in effect a gift to him of just the kind that the Emoluments Clause was designed to prevent.
And then there's the massive security issues.
And the notion that somehow we're going to kind of pick up an airplane from the Qataris and turn this into Air Force One is almost preposterous.
This ex-CIA intelligence officer says Air Force One is more than a high-flying limo. It's a mobile command communication center, an aircraft designed to withstand electromagnetic attacks and thwart enemy aircraft. Not only would the opulent aircraft need to be retrofitted by the Pentagon, but then there's the security considerations.
You're worried about things such as, listening devices, things that could knock out security and counterintelligence systems. And so, in reality, if we are going to uphold current security standards, you have to take this aircraft and rip it apart piece by piece.
While Trump sees nothing wrong with the gift,
I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid.
I'm going to pause this for a second. Look at that bad spray tan he has. I mean, seriously. The bags under his eyes are white, but his face is orange. Damn, Cheeto. Does anybody else help you with, you have anybody on your side saying how bad you look when you go out? Or does everybody kiss your ass even though you look horrible and say, you look great, President Cheeto. You look great. You're doing everything great. Because I don't know what the hell they're scared of you. I can take out your legs in 2 seconds, just like you wanted to shoot out the legs of protesters one day. I could take your legs out without guns. Hell, I could beat you down with my words in 5 seconds. You wouldn't be able to stand in a room with me for 2 seconds, actually, because you would hate me so much and your words wouldn't bother me at all. Okay, back to the show.
Stupid person say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
there's also the question of what the Qataris get in return.
It either subtly or not so subtly has an influence. That's why people give gifts like this.
Already the deal has led to pushback from far-right influencer Laura Loomer, who calls the deal a stain on the administration.
This kind of skeezy stuff.
And podcaster Ben Shapiro.
Taking sacks of goodies from people who support Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al Jazeera, all the rest. That's not America first.
Washington's relationship with the oil-rich nation of Qatar is complicated. There was a time when Trump himself called out Qatar, which has been linked to funding for Hamas.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism.
He can't even make up his damn mind. He only likes them when they want to give him presents. Yeah, that's not America first. That's Trump first.
But times have changed. The Trump family are developing many new projects in the region. And so Trump, for his first official trip, bypassed traditional democratic destinations for Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates.
He feels comfortable amongst these kind of rulers. And of course, he just admires one thing more than all else, which is wealth. And the Qataris certainly have it.
So you heard that straight from the mouth of a CIA agent. Or ex-CIA agent. He admires wealth over everything. That's all he cares about is the wealth, the wealthy, and his kind. And I'm going to end this kind of early. I know it's a short episode, but I've got to get to bed. It's kind of late. I've got to work in the morning. I have to work like most normal Americans do. And yeah, he may be a president that has to work. No, he just works on looking bad and looking more orange every day. And that's this episode of What the Trump Is He Thinking?